It's Healthy Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies of Your View with me. Good morning, ladies. Wake in the building. We missed you. Happy New Year. Like you just always disappear, and we won't see you for like 3 years. Since Christmas, we're not seeing you since Christmas.
But we always have our New Year's Eve. So I couldn't come on.
That's true. That's true.
Because we celebrated into the new year.
Yeah, so you didn't go to vigil. You didn't go to church. That's your own vigil, your party vigil.
Our own vigil. We vigiled where we
crossover.
Well, if you see the way we crossed. Hey,
how did you guys cross? I used to cross like that in the US. In Nigeria, we're very religion here. In the US, you go to dance in the ball drop, then you cross over. But here, you must be in that church. If you're not in that church,
everybody crossed over happy. Happy and in a happy mood.
Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm fine. We did something on New Year's Eve. I employed about 30 people from our area, Alagbole, to direct the traffic, because every year there is one serious traffic. If you see that traffic,
that your road.
Most people spend their New Year on that road. So this year I had them. I said I would pay them after the job.
Fantastic.
30 of them.
They're so happy with you, I'm sure, the entire time.
I was hearing the gist. When I called them,
that's fantastic. Well done, Waiki.
So I gave them Alagbole traffic control t-shirt.
Are you for real? Hey.
Community police.
I'm telling you. Nice one, Waiki. Waiki, you're leaving us soon?
Yes, so next week, my daughter is due. So
going to do Amugo.
Hopefully she won't get there. She won't come. Baby won't come before I get there. Right. So please pray for me, because I must be there.
You want to witness it.
I want to.
So you've been gone for a while, Waiki.
Only 2 months this time. Before normally it's 3 months.
Right.
But this time, because I've been away too long, I was like, come. Yeah. Even my partner is complaining.
Yes, now.
Complaining.
Please, our partner should go and meet you in the abroad, I beg, please.
He's listening, I hope.
Please say it last time. Please, our uncle, go and meet her in the abroad. She has to be with her baby, please.
Go together.
Go and do the Amugo together.
It's not a small
How are you doing, Nima?
I'm very well. So I'm thinking of suing somebody. Let me not just No, Mike, you know that's how I used to mind my business. And somebody will just teach me to just go on an academic exercise in the court. So I'm going to sue somebody very soon. Okay. I'm giving them notice this morning.
You hear me sue that person that jammed my car too while you're at it.
Okay, it's good.
While you're suing, please come and sue the person on my street. They're making serious noise. There's one church on my street like this.
You will sue my own too. It's your cousin that is heading that agency. You will sue my own too.
How are you doing, Bonnie?
I'm doing great. I've been getting calls on my book club. People want to join. So they're telling me, I hope when I join, there's something you would do, then I'll start reading. I would love to read. I'm like, I'm not a magician. No. Please, there's nothing. If you want to book for coaching, that's a different thing. You're joining a book club, we read together. So you need to love reading, or find a way to read when you see other people reading. There's no magic I'm going to do for you to read. So just read and come and tell us what you have read. That's all we are doing in the book club. There's no magic there. I just want to make it out plain, that just join and read. I'm not a jazz man. I'm not a magician. Fantastic. I can't do anything to.
I'll learn jazz. Hello, Blondie.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm happy. Oh, the blonde, right? Honestly, I didn't plan.
You didn't remember the color.
Well, it was yesterday I saw it. No, it wasn't. It was Friday.
But it's beautiful.
Huh?
It's beautiful.
Okay. I saw the hair and I bought it. Actually, it was Burupos. On Friday, it was Burupos. By today, I paid for it because what happened was that the makeup, the hair people didn't come. So I didn't have anybody to do my hair, but this hair was already curled. So somebody asked me, I can loan you on Friday. So it looked nice. Everybody liked it on Friday.
I love it.
And I told the auntie, everybody likes this hair. Please, can I buy it from you? She called this Shakarara Monday, Tuesday. By Tuesday, she sold it to me. So it's my
beautiful.
hair.
Who is the person?
It's beautiful.
Gypsy.
Is that Asset Queen?
Hey.
Asset
Queen.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Mikey, mind your business. All right, we're going to start with The Nation. New wage, Labour draws battle line with 26 states. Picture here of Shiite protest, Iran military chief Soleimani assassination in Abuja. NERC opts for consultation with consumers before tariff hike. UBA makes major appointments. Lagos rescues kid from parents who refuse blood transfusion. Harmonization of Naira rates likely. And Buhari won't pick a successor, says presidency. Let's start with this human interest story before we go to the major headline. The Lagos State rescuing a child. Why can you have that story?
Yeah, it was these parents, they had their child. She had come in prematurely and she was jaundiced. And they said they had to give her a blood transfusion. Yeah. She came in at 2.2 kilograms. Kg. And then they because they were trying to give her a blood transfusion, they took her out of the hospital and she was at home for a week and
a few days.
Yeah, a few days. And you know, the worst part is it's the hospital that someone alerted them, and the Lagos State came in and said, come, this baby is going to die.
That's fantastic.
Public Defender Office.
And
the
parents and the other Jehovah Witnesses there battled them before they took the baby. It was a battle.
It's a long-standing argument and conversation for many years because Jehovah's Witnesses do not believe in blood transfusion.
Yes, they see it
and there's always the ethics issue. Is it ethical to leave her under the religious bracket saying you cannot do this, or is the ethical thing to do is to save the child's life?
I'd rather that she died if she was left in the house, because by the time they got there, she was already, or he or she, I don't know, in sex 1.7 kg. Imagine if
this is a serious.
It is a serious.
A lot of other post-delivery issues that happen to children. I'd rather that you don't transfer your faith at that time to that child that will cause a difficulty. As soon as the child is of 18 and well aware of their religion, they can.
Let's not discuss the religion issues right now.
But well done to the people that do not do mind your business kind of thing, and they involve the agencies that.
Minimum wage?
Major headline.
Yes. So Labour, it's really talking tough against 3 states who have not concluded. They've not even started the negotiations for the consequential adjustments. We have Kogi, Taraba, and Cross River. And they're saying that about 10 states have concluded, and 3 states among them, like Lagos State and some northern states, have started with the federal government already. 2
states, Lagos and Kaduna.
And Kano.
Kaduna.
Is it Kaduna that is there? Okay, have started already with them. They've started with the minimum wage alongside with the federal workers as well. So they are saying that some states are still on the negotiating table, and they are saying that they are going to, make sure that they monitor it from state to state to ensure that everybody is on that table for the.
They should also make sure that the monies are paid directly, retrospectively.
This tariff hike, NEC, they're saying that what they're starting is consultation. They'll start talking with customers, helping us understand the reasons for this cost-reflective tariff. And they're saying that, as you know, discos in Abuja will start paying 47 naira per unit instead of the current 27 naira. And we in Lagos, Ikeja disco will be paying 36 naira 92 kobo instead of the 26 naira 50 kobo. So they're going to start consultation for the next 3 months to let us understand.
No, they haven't put it into law yet, so we shouldn't worry. My own fear is trying that we're already paying 500k. Say it's 750, they want to be charging.
That's estimated now, YK. You need to get a proper meter.
We have a proper meter and they come.
Part of the story is that they will cap estimated billing at a particular level that it
based
cannot
on your
exceed.
usage.
So it might eventually pay you to be on estimated bill.
That 500 naira is not paying me. 500,000 is not paying me.
When they cap it,
they'll cap it to
without capping, the discos cannot continue to have a ball on your head.
So let's trust the system. Let's move on. Moving on.
I beg. Which system? Who's system help? Let me speak like them. Who's system help?
Operation Amotekun, Southwest, to train OPC hunters, others. Family of woman stabbed to death by soldiers, 6 justices. We're acting on Turkey's troop deployment in Libya, says federal government. 3 died, 9 injured in Ondo road crash. Buhari won't impose successor presidency, replies Bakare. Oil rises above $70 amid U.S.-Iran face-off and will enforce tariff increase as from April, says Discos. All right, let's take a major headline. Amotekun.
Yes. So,
and then when you do, I want to take that family of women.
So the Southwest have said that they are going to have like a security outfit, which is codenamed Amotekun. They are going to be joining. It's a combination of OPC, the hunters, and okay, so the vigilantes, trained vigilantes, OPC and hunters, they'll be working hand in hand with the security officials, but they're not going to be on the patrol with them. They're just going to be more like proffering intelligence, giving intelligence to them. So they're going to work hand in hand, being that they are the ones who know the terrain well. That's the southwest as it is, compared to the security officials who come from different states to work. This is as a result of, you know, the fight against the herdsmen that have bedeviled the southwest. Okay, cool. So some people are saying that they may likely pay them 13,500, but it's still in talks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The family, the woman, the soldier had come home from the northeast, and they said he had been showing some signs of mental issue. That's why I wanted to actually take this. He had been showing some signs of mental, and this day she heard this noise about 10 p.m. She went and he was stabbing his wife and child. So she looked and wanted to run, but her baby fell. The baby she was carrying fell. So she wanted, as she was to stop to pick it up, the baby up. The guy came and stabbed her to death.
Oh my Lord.
Stabbed her, stabbed the soldiers that came, and the family is asking for compensation. The soldiers have visited them, but they haven't given them compensation. Yeah. They don't have a mother. She has 5 children.
Oh my Lord!
You know, why wasn't it taken to the hospital?
Was mentioning, alluding to this fact yesterday, that most of the soldiers returning from interventions in the Northeast should be looked into, to be rehabilitated into society. That some of them would have, suffered post-traumatic stress.
They are letting them come into the society, and they have this problem. So let's be expecting more and more of this kind of thing, or other kind of, not good.
Yeah, right. Let's move on to, there's a story, the Femme Medicinal was responding, saying that our president was responding to Pastor Tunde Bakare, who said that our president should leave a successor. And he's saying the presidency will not do that. He believes firmly in democracy, and the people will decide who their next leader will be. Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune, how government taxes levies make Nigerians poorer. Hamatan, 2 die, family of 6 hospitalized after burning charcoals to keep warm in Plateau. 596 dead, workers still drawing salaries in Bauchi. An angry Borno governor accuses soldiers of extortion at checkpoints. Okay, Nima has a story.
So I have the 2 stories in the Tribune. The Hamatan story. So this young man, Dahiru and Saminu Idris, were suffocated in their room due to the charcoal that they started, due to the cold. You know, the temperature in Jos had fallen below 9 degrees, and it was getting worse. Wow. So they stayed in their house, and they put a charcoal fire within the house to keep it warm, and in the morning they had died due to the suffocation that happened to keep the room warm. So someone was mentioning yesterday that we needed to do something about a topic around Hamatan.
Yeah, because I heard that TVC, they were in Damaturu yesterday, and that even the reporter was wearing a winter coat. Yeah, you know, and the thing is, we do not have like Oyinbo people, they have heating. We don't have that here. You know?
So we need to know how to handle this season. The professional. One more story, Nima.
Yes, the major headline. So the article in the Tribune on how government taxes are making us poorer took complete count of all the taxes, and you know how it's making Nigerians poorer, saying that because they've increased VAT from 5% to 7.5%. They've increased the stamp duty 50 naira on every 1,000 naira transaction that you do. Processing fees for bank deposit withdrawals from 2% to 5%. VAT on online transactions 5%. Electricity tariff, of course, is discussed to be increased maybe by April. So they're saying that this continuous taxing is going to continue to put a burden on the masses in Nigeria, and just for government to balance out of the debt that we keep borrowing to develop infrastructure. Okay. All right. So basically, that's what the article is talking about. And they should include the POS, because even while CBN is investigating, Petrocam still insists on charging 15 naira.
We have little time. Let's move on to Daily Trust. Governors nab soldiers, police extorting travelers. Electricity tariff not yet increases. Federal government presidency. Buhari won't handpick his successor. And major events that will shape to judiciary in 2020. Let's take the major headline here. The governor of
Borno State, yes. So he was on his way to a village in that area where they had a Boko Haram attack. And on his way, he saw a gridlock. There's a major road that most of the commuters and passengers take, because of the fact that the other roads are always bedeviled with Boko Haram. Only for him to get there was a gridlock, and then he inquired as to what was happening. and he found out that the soldiers were extorting 1,000 naira or 500 naira from passengers because they didn't have the national ID. So he was upset, saying that the national ID was supposed to be provided by the federal government, which they've not made it very easy for people to access. So instead of you to be thinking of how to battle the Boko Haram people that are going to the other villages, you are here, and he was really upset.
Two quick questions.
Yeah.
When they wanted to start,
as he came out of the car, he just said, "This is unacceptable."
Yes,
they said, "God, we'll look into it. We'll look into it." So two things that they quickly
Nima, were you there?
No, he was in the story. He was in the Tribune account I read. So two things quickly. When they wanted to start Operation Show Your ID, people criticized that, you know, you'll be monetized and these abuses will happen. Yeah. Evidence one has happened. Number two, he mentioned the issue of them collecting monies to whose purse is this money? Accounts will not call and see that kind of thing. So where is the money going?
You know, I watched it on TV. I watched it on TV. Excuse me, and the soldier was trying to explain. It's because we killed 3 Boko Haram here yesterday. The corpses are still there for you to see. So the civilian was saying, "No, you are collecting money from us. This is not about corpses." Boko Haram. So the governor was not telling the person filming, "Go away, move away."
They said it's small.
Hey, okay. Last 2 students, Vanguard, let's take that major.
Okay, so yesterday,
last 2 students injured in stampede into exam hall. What's that about?
Yes, yesterday they were, last 200 level students were supposed to write their JNS 102 yesterday at their CBT center provided for everybody. And it was supposed to be in batches, but somehow students got rowdy. And according to the coordinator for the Center of Information and Press and Public Relations, Mr. Ademola Adekoya, the students, of course, got out of hand, and then there was a stampede. A young lady, which I think was the one referred to the general hospital, was stepped on so much she was bleeding through her nose and everything.
Nima, my question would be, why did the students get out of hand? Was there a proper plan? Did they write down the names when you come? Because it's a problem. We've been in the universities and we see that all the time. And I'm so shocked that it's still happening to today. When you write down your name and you are called in one after the other, you won't have such a stampede.
At the time I wrote JNS in LASU, we were writing per faculty, although it wasn't by the CBT system. But I know for a fact that the Faculty of Law has a CBT system. And I found that the students were also writing at the same center. So I don't understand this arrangement. You understand?
Sense,
so
I think
on that note, thank you very much. We're going to wrap up on the front page review. When we come back, we have quite a few topics to discuss. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So there's a story online that caught our attention about a young man who came online to report his younger sister because she did not wash his clothes. According to him, she's engaged to be married in April. And this engagement means that the man had actually come to the house to see the family. They've done the regular introduction. But he says he doesn't give her, but that does not give her the right not to wash his own clothes. Because the argument is that she's not yet married. And I mean that she's not, that the man will come for her in April. She is still under our father's roof. So why can you not run errands for us?
Oh.
And he was even particularly upset that the community were supporting her on what basis? Because he told her to wash clothes. He dropped it there, thinking that she had washed it. The next day, he comes up. Where are the clothes I asked you to wash? She didn't even answer him. He now went outside to see if she was hanging. He now saw it right on the floor, exactly where he put it. So he was really upset that, how can you people be supporting her? She's not yet, she's still in her house. She should be running errands.
Imagine.
What do you agree? You can call us on 070-806-6824. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so carry this tweet. I'd like us to remember Patience Ozoko when she came here and told us that family, relationships, you help each other, you support each other. Because I don't want you to use your Lagos mind to have this conversation. I want you to use your village mind.
Sometimes we used to drive to Oshodi,
I want you to use your traditional Nigerian mind to have this conversation. Because let us just think of this younger as your younger sister. She hasn't left the house. She's someone that runs errands, that washes your clothes on a daily.
Oh.
Suddenly, because one man just came and said, introduced himself, and he's getting married in April, she can't wash
One man just came. Did you see?
I'm just saying yourself. So, do you agree or disagree with this man?
Hey, you know one thing, it's not his fault. Honestly, I blame his parents. and how they raised them.
That's it.
That is just it. Because if they were raised to take care of your things yourself, if I have to help you, you have to beg me. Don't order me around. Whether you're my elder or my younger, it doesn't matter. You wash your clothes, you wash your dishes, you know, do chores around the house. Our men are too spoilt. This is just entitlement. Because she's a woman, she should run errands. After all, they've not married her. That's the sense of entitlement, which I will not sit here and form traditional. It is wrong, all shades of wrong. He should have appealed to her senses. Wash for me now. And if she has said no, it's okay. You wash your clothes. What do you do your hand?
I don't blame both parents. I blame the mothers. In this situation, the mothers always favor or they... The boys are always like, oh, don't... So the boys grow up with this sense of entitlement. And you cannot blame these boys. It starts from... That's why I say, when there is in-law problem, where is it from? It's always the mother.
Listen,
there is... No, let us... let us...
spade a spade here.
Yes. Let's not be pretending. We know who is the wahala person inside the family. Always the mother. So, in this case, they have brought... I will never forget. When I was married, I was, and I was going through this kind of... Because they didn't bring me up like that. I was brought up to...
We had your gist.
I was brought up to be an independent woman.
We had your gist.
I don't know which gist to read.
Background.
So, when they were saying, I say, hey, what? So I was having these issues.
So you didn't wash plates in your husband's house?
I did, but serious issues.
Okay.
And I went to my neighbor, and the son refused to wash the plates. And the mother was saying, oh, if I tell him to wash plates, he will be crying. He will be crying. But his sister, she will go and wash the plate. That boy, fast forward, will grow up now.
He can't do anything.
No, like I'm going through that right now. Now, I'll come back to this story. My daughters, easily, they gravitate towards the kitchen. They're there. My son just wants to stay in front of the TV. He doesn't want to have an idea what's going on in the kitchen at all. He's not interested. Sometimes he just comes to open the refrigerator. So when I start pulling him to stay in the kitchen because I don't want him to grow up thinking that
you will pull him. So that's why you're the mother. You will pull him.
In my house, we were 4 girls, 3 elders. So my 2 immediate elders were always in the kitchen, and it was too choking for me to be there. And I never had interest in the kitchen. Today that I can cook is because my mother was stubborn with me. She put up a roster. Oh yeah, it's your turn. So and that turn means that you make breakfast, lunch, dinner, mop, clean kitchen, bathroom, everything. My mom will do.
Yes, one
human being. And my mom, she will step on the floor and say, is this in our White House? Are you blind? Oh yeah, come and do this spot. I remember sweeping one particular spot of the house 3-4 times per day. I'll be like, is this my mother? It must be my stepmom. My mom must have died. And today I thank her for it. And it's the same method, because my daughter naturally loves to do what I'm doing. When I'm in the kitchen, she's with me. But you see that my boy, always watching TV, playing games. He will grow up to meet this punishment.
Let's come back to this
he
story
considers a punishment.
So now, this young man says that he has 2 older sisters and 2 younger sisters.
He watched for them.
This younger is like the youngest of the youngest, obviously. So he's saying that this somebody he has always sends on errands.
No.
Suddenly, because a man came to your house now, you cannot wash clothes.
It's the disrespect.
Exactly.
Because you see, they say, let me not say the Yoruba proverb, young and old build the nation. So if he has been taught to respect that younger one, no matter what, he will even know to say thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
And understand why he did not wash. Future wife, I pity for you if you are marrying this guy. Because, yes, you are just coming to inherit the work of this younger sister. And these men, they sit right. They sit on this thing and they call it a right.
Over-pampered.
You see mothers coming to the house and they look at the house, it's dirty. Their daughter-in-law is nursing, she's cleaning, and she's confused. And the first thing they say to her, you have not swept? Now what for you? You go feel manage home so, and their son is sitting there waiting for breakfast, and they'll be like, and you never give your husband food. Now what for you? And YK is not lying. He's not far from me. Our sisters to do it. You come in, your sister-in-law is nursing, one baby in the hand, washing baby clothes. And rather than help her, you go out and say you were not cooked for. She did not even offer me food. With which hand?
Okay,
you should try and be more understanding of this.
Because I'd like to link this story with the other story that someone was complaining that Nigerian men abroad, do not understand that they live in a country where women have rights, such that you need to help them out.
It's
because
not
it's only in that country.
It's not about rights. It's
women,
it's human dignity.
It's not much of a patriarchal society where the men have the upper hand. That's the issue. The women actually is right. The rights are more upheld in those kind of societies. Let me take this call from the UK. Then we'll come back to that. Good morning. Are you there? Hello. I have a call from the UK, I believe. Morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Yes. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First time caller.
Woo!
What's Morayo?
Morayo.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
You see, women, are we slaves? Are we slaves? We are not slaves.
We are not. Thank you.
See, I see that as a parental error.
Yes, major.
So our inability to really put our children right, it has threatened us. So if I'm a lady, forget whether you are my elder or not. Am I your slave? I am not, of course. So if we are raised by one parent, parents, it doesn't mean that you should not subject me to slavery that, yes, I must be washing your clothes. So it is our responsibility as a parent to really bring up a child, whether you are a male or a female. Let us teach our children the simple principles that you must wash your clothes. You lady, like what I mean, my good morning, I greet all of you.
Yes.
You wash your clothes, let me wash my own clothes.
That's all. All right, thank you very much. See, I'll come to you, Neil. I wanted to come to, because she talked about raising his children, and I want us to bring it to real life experiences. I mean, I'm raising children. I have a boy, I have 2 boys and 2 girls. Now, my son spills rice on the floor. Now, the normal thing is go and get the broom. Usually, anytime you spill anything on the floor, you go and clean it yourself. He's 5 years old. I go to the kitchen and bring the broom. He started sweeping, and he was there spending almost 10 minutes.
You go spend that
to sweep this time. And even when he now sweeps it, he doesn't sweep it well. My daughter is wondering, she's getting irritated. But Margaret, give me the broom. I'll do it for you. But at that moment,
doctor, you know, he's
Elizabeth,
the older one.
The older one. I now say, Elizabeth, please help him do it. Because the truth is, I'm getting used to having her do the work instead of him, because it's easier.
So you are establishing our authority as the elder one.
Yes.
Not that you're establishing her as the slave. Now you're establishing her as the authority. Take control. Help your younger brother. The brother too will always see her as the one to turn to when he needs help. He was doing it, but he's not getting it.
But somebody will say, I'm not raising him.
No. Our mothers did. If it's that one, when you train a girl to do things out of love, when she marries, she will cook and care for her husband out of love. Yeah. The moment the line is crossed and she's made to be a slave, she will know that her dignity is being stepped on, and she will take
yesterday I beat my son because I realized that he's developing a new pattern. He'll finish eating.
Child abuse.
What happened? He'll finish eating. He will leave the dishes there and just sit down with the remote. I was on my way to the room. I just looked and I saw that there was water spilled. His water bottle was there. His plate was there. And I called him. I said, brother, when did this one start? You were writing your goals this year publicly. I posted it on Instagram, and everybody saw it. They were congratulating you. Oh, you want to fall back to the old pattern. After that goal, I will go there and embarrass you. So you left this for me, and I beat him very well. I said, okay, clean it. And
there was no, at that point, there was no need to beat him.
Because
it is if he refused to do it.
He cannot refuse me. He cannot.
So you should have waited. There was no need to beat him.
The thing is, I have been talking. I have been teaching him, but he has this attitude of I'm a boy. He shows me that I'm a boy. So, and I want to tell him that unfortunately you have the wrong mother, because I don't care about sexes. You have to do the job you're supposed to do. Everybody will do the same job.
But no, I need to ask you, why didn't you? Okay, take your call.
Right.
YK has a point though. You had a conversation with him.
I've been having conversations. It's not today.
Okay,
so I needed to reset his brain.
Look here.
Okay, let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, and the ladies.
Good morning.
Please permit me to just talk about your comment on the dailies.
Okay, go ahead.
On the issue of Amateku, I'm giving kudos to the governor, the Western governors, for that initiative.
Okay.
It's a very, very important initiative.
Yes, it is.
And I'm appealing to Afenifere to align with them. If truly they are, representing Yoruba race. That is my own point.
Thank you very much.
Kudos to the governors for that.
Thank you very much, sir, for your views. Yes. So, Wyke was going to say something.
Wyke was talking about...
No, I was going to ask, did you tell him and then he refused to do it? No, you didn't. At that point, I would believe that you would say, oh yeah, clean it. Do I naughty boy? Can you go? Tell him off, and then you
I've
go.
been doing
If
that for
you
a
come
long time.
back, no, but it wasn't that day. If you come back, he's just set the goals now, and he doesn't do it. Then that's
They
when
don't
you
remind me
decide
to cook
but
food
I
in
don't.
the house.
But I don't want to go. That's not our hot topic. I just
Let's go back. Let's go back to this issue. The young man.
So this young man, the way I see it, this young man's mother did not draw the line of respect for every individual, which is what I have a problem with the men produced today. They cannot tell the difference between a loving wife and a slaving wife. Yeah. Everything is a woman's duty. This woman comes into the house, she takes control, she loves you, she makes life easy for you. The same woman, my father always says that a good woman is a good woman until you wake up the devil in her. She's slaving, she's good, she's everything until the day your head cross and she nods. I personally hate when I think that my dignity, myself, my entire existence is being disrespected, no matter the age of the person. It will just be a silent war between the two of us, whether you like it or not. Simple things like this. The girl didn't wash. It's not that she's never done it for you. She's always done it for you. And why will you peg the fact that she's been, okay, put it, that she's been,
let me just, can I just say something?
Why can't you
you see, when we are blaming the mothers as well, then let's go to the wives. We too, we have our own role to play in this matter. Let me tell you why. My mother, when my brother was growing up, none of us, my mother used to do the cooking. She used to try, all of us were bad children. So, but my auntie, that's my mom's sister, now took my brother one day, you are going to learn how to cook my egusi. And she taught him how to
make it
serious egusi. That if you want to eat egusi in that house, it's Femi that will cook the egusi. Today, ask him. He can't even remember that he used to cook egusi. Say, Femi, cook that egusi for us now. He say, I don't know how to cook it. You know, so obviously over the years,
he lost it. We told him that
he's the man.
He's the man. That's not your responsibility.
So I
have to go on a break.
All right.
And we come back and continue this conversation because there's a part of this conversation we've not talked about. Okay. The fact that it was when, now that she's married. What's that supposed to mean? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Yes, Waiki has a tweet.
Yes, from Andrew in Streatham. He says, Adbisi Ugbo is instituting military government in our household.
Let me take this one. Shewa Adedeji says, please, does it mean that women use 6 months in the belly or the same 9 months as men? Nobody's anyone's slave. Yes, parents should stop discriminating from the beginning. Women are not meant to serve, but to be loved. Thank you, Oga.
Okay, I wanted to come to the issue of the fact that, you see, this is a young girl. She obviously rebelled. So she had some strain of confidence and boldness to do that. But at the same time, why was she's obviously been obeying and washing his clothes. But because now that you are going to get married, that's a new identity, means that you cannot wash anymore. That's what I want us to talk. Forget how she was raised or the dynamics in the house. The fact that you are now married, is it that it does confer this new authority on you that you cannot
exactly
so why does that marriage still confer that elevation of status?
It's still the same issue of patriarchy in the society. So a man who has a husband is now seen to be more, a woman who has a husband is now seen to be more important than one who doesn't have a husband. So it's a change of status, yes. So as we're having these discussions, we're putting it out there that a woman is a woman. You should love and respect her for who she is, not because she's attached to a man who's supposed to be her covering. She's a human. So treat her like a human. You know, when you go out and there was a particular day I walked into a hotel and I was pregnant, heavily pregnant, and I got there. I was talking to the secretary. She didn't even give me face and everything. She just, ignored me. Immediately, Oga walked in. Hey, all smiles and, okay, so you came with, okay, that's the person who is paying your bill and everything. That was when she now started smiling at me because I had somebody, which is wrong, and we do it all the time. We give preferential treatment to those ones who feel they are respectable, they're responsible, they have a covering on their head, and those ones who do not, who we feel they don't have because they're single, we disrespect them.
I used to go to this bank to look for business, and the gateman, when he would just eye me, my friend worked there, so I used to go and see her, and he was just, the day he went to go and meet her, that's your friend. Oh, Mrs. Shegun. So he came out.
Are you
married? Oh,
changed.
come in. His attitude towards me changed completely. Amazing. Yeah. I was amazed.
So my question therefore is, do we need to continue to have that? Is that how we want to continue to have society? Because this young girl, who I feel personally was disrespectful to her brother. This is a young girl that has a
moderation level or your real feeling.
YK, I'm moderating the conversation. This young girl that has been you see, listen, I understand that you're getting married, but there are two different rules. When you get to your husband's house, you can do whatever you want to do. But you are still under my roof. You're still under our father's roof. You've been washing my clothes for many years.
This one that cannot pay his own rent.
This
one that is a squatter in his father's house.
I'm almost done.
He's not paying rent. It's not his house.
Because this young man that just came to introduce himself might not marry you at the end of the day. He might not marry you at the end of the day. You will still be in this house.
You would have been liberated.
Is it the one paying the rent?
Imagine that this young girl had never really liked the way the clothes were flung at her.
Yes.
You know, he said, I washed my sister's clothes till I married. I love washing with my hands. I washed my father. I loved washing. But the moment I felt I was being disrespected in my marriage for washing, I put the clothes there until my husband washed it himself.
You gave your husband's clothes?
I left it for him till he washed it. And I'm talking of 3 months. We left dirty clothes like that in the house just to address an issue. That's it. It's a serious matter. Because, you see, this girl is a human being, number one. Human being with human dignity and liberties.
Why don't you just get a washing machine?
Wait now, before we ever did.
Do you have washing machine?
Washing machine is cheap. Yes, I do. 70,000 naira, you get a washing machine.
My younger brother never knew why I used to sweep his room and clean his room. The day I felt I was disrespected, I took away the privilege. And the guy's room was like that for a year. He was asthmatic. Nobody would sweep his room. The thing is, always understand where the person is doing it from. The moment you misunderstand it, we need to clarify it.
Yeah, it's always,
we will draw the line.
It's also very possible that she doesn't even like washing in the first place. And she was just doing it.
You know,
now she has seen that, okay, a man is coming, and now I can even outrightly say no. Like, like me, if you want to use washing to judge me, I failed, though.
I have a call from Joss. Good morning, Sheyi. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. You see, it is the responsibility of the parents, the mother, to train both sexes, both the male and the female.
Exactly.
You know, to take care of themselves, or even to take care of a household. This is because by the time they grow up, they will know how to help themselves. You know, there won't be any this kind of a thing that we are seeing. You know, the guy is seeing himself. I see the lady as a slave or something of that nature. Which is not good. Like unlike me, my own mother trained me just the way she trained the lady. So we do the household work
together.
I can cook. I can do. There is nothing I cannot do. And my junior ones, even but up to today, my junior ones can help me too if they wish. I will impose it on them.
Thank you very much for your views. I'd like to bring in one angle because, okay, let me bring in this angle. Because growing up, I had this major issue. The truth is that when I was in primary school, I never washed. Secondary school, I washed in secondary school. But after in boarding, because I was in boarding school. And after that, the moment I stepped into the US like this, till today, I have not washed one cloth. Because there's washing machine. We always make it look as if, because you don't train your child to do those house chores, you not train your child properly, which is not true. People used to abuse me then or insult me that, oh, she can't cook, she can't wash. But the truth is that today, I have a help in the house.
Yes.
I have somebody who's washing for clothes
You
for
can
us.
pay them.
I can pay them. Yeah. By God's grace and mercy, I can afford to do those things. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean I can't cook personally.
And you're married, man, found you.
So the point is that when you put so much pressure, you must raise your children must do A, B, C, D. A girl must do A, B, C, D so that they can get married. Those things are sometimes unnecessary.
Yes.
I didn't have all the luxury of washing and cleaning and sweeping. I didn't do that. With all due respect. But today,
you found your man.
I get husband.
Personal experience.
Please share.
My own personal experience is my daughter. My daughter, when she was going to university, I said, okay, since you don't know how to cook, let me come to the kitchen, let me teach you. She will not even listen. She will not even come. When she was going to university, I said, you will be on your own. No? She managed. Today, she cooks the most fantastic.
She learned at her own pace. Yes. God bless you, YK.
She learned. She showed me a picture of her Christmas dinner. Eh? I say,
Okay, let me give you one
cooked all
small gist.
this.
I think I'll give you this gist before. When I entered the US, right, my brother thought that you're coming from Nigeria. Yes, so Nigeria, because his wife was born and raised in Italy. Okay. So she always make all this Italian, so when I came into the US, she just assumed, Nigeria, when Nigeria, she go, story. When I cook one fierce stew, it was water. He was so disappointed, from Lagos. What is this? I felt embarrassed, but I went to go and learn. I asked questions, and they taught me, and I know how to cook today. But the point is that, listen, this life is not so hard.
Not that serious.
Don't make it look as if a girl doesn't know how to do these things, she will not get married.
Okay, so the bottom line for me is, as you're raising kids, teach them enough to help them handle themselves.
Yes.
So wherever they find themselves, so if I get into an environment that there's no washing machine, I should be able to wash with my hands. If I get where there's washing machine, I should be able to load it in the machine. Right. So I'm not going to be raising my daughter so that a man will see you and pick you. Yeah. That's an aberration.
You come and reset to my brother's brain so you remember how to make their egusi.
You don't need that.
I have to bring in our guests. Nima want to say something?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we have to round up on this. Let me let you round up on this topic so that we bring in our guest for the next segment. On this, what would you advise this young man who asked his sister to wash clothes and refused?
I think, I do not know the dynamics in the house. Yeah. So I'm not really ready to comment on that. But I'm just hoping that that lady is not shocking the one that she used to do in the house before to go and be doing it in her husband's house. Because she wants to live being enslaved in one house to go and be enslaved in another house. That is my own most important.
On that note, we're going to break. When we come back, it's Healthy Tuesday. We're bringing our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Before we move on to the next topic, let's take a few tweets on this one. YK?
Oh, gosh.
Okay, let me go.
Let me go, please. I have to. Disrespect is disrespect. This is L Pro. Disrespect is disrespect. No matter the kind, does it mean because the sister is getting married, the brother ceases to become her elder brother? Yaro says, please, I have to. Disrespect is disrespect. This is L Pro. Disrespect is disrespect. No matter the kind, does it mean because the sister is getting married, the brother ceases to become her elder brother? Yaro says some mothers are the majority cause of all this. Maybe when he was little, the sister usually washes his clothes, but as a child, it's best to train each other and everyone how to clean, wash and take care of the home. It will go a long way.
Mr. PJ Comedian says, when men are trained not to know how to do simple things like washing his clothes or other chores in the home, he would definitely end up as a dictator husband. Simple.
All right. Okay, so for a while now, we've been talking about the challenges we face in our health sector, ranging from negligence to not having enough equipment and even having less doctors to call to receive patients. Majority of doctors actually have migrated out of the country and they've gone to seek greener pastures. To enlighten us more on the show today, we have Honorable Bashiru Dawodu, who is a member House of Representatives and a medical doctor by profession. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Good to have you. Before we go into the conversation on doctors in Nigeria, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think that young man was wrong for asking his sister to wash his clothes?
Well, this is the challenge of modernity. We have to balance culture with development. Okay. So, but I think it's appropriate for parents to bring their children up in a similar fashion. It doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl, because that will portray a lot for the kids in future.
Did you wash your clothes when you were growing up?
Yes, I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You cooked?
Yes, I did.
Can we confirm that? If your siblings can call into the show now. But you don't cook now.
Not as much.
Okay. All right, cool. So you can join the conversation on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. We started this conversation yesterday with Honorable Balogun, and it's good to have you on the show because I know you're a doctor. Yes. And we've always saying this thing on the show where we always discuss the fact that doctors are leaving. Yeah. We discuss the fact that our hospitals are ill-equipped. Yeah. We discuss the fact that the budget that you approved, amongst others, is not even up to the internationally required percentage of what our budget should be. So obviously we all know what the problems are. But as a lawmaker, we'd like to ask you, why is it that the budget allocated for health is obviously not enough? Why? And why are we having issues with the NHIS? Okay, we'll come to the NHIS later, but let's start with the budgeting for health sector.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for the question. I think I have an interesting view of the situation.
Okay.
And in the practice of medicine, I've also, been on all sides. I'm primarily a specialist medical practitioner. I was trained in Nigeria, also trained in the U.S. I practiced in the U.S. for at least about 2 decades.
Okay.
So I have a better view of the situation. And before we go into the governance part, just to give you a little insight of what the doctors go through, because I've experienced that too. I've also been an instructor of medicine, so I see it from all grounds. The way to look at this is that I think this is more like a ladies' family show. Imagine if your husband were a doctor and he leaves his home Friday to come back on Monday morning. He hasn't seen you or the kids. The gentleman is on call. And in Nigeria today, you pay him $200,000 a month. In the US, his salary is $3.5 million in a month. So it's not close. Now, if you go beyond that, the working condition. Most hospitals, like you said, are ill-equipped. The facilities are not up to par. And that's why someone was telling me yesterday that why are the doctors hostile and they're not friendly? If you are being forced to see those number of patients, when eventually you see one, are you going to be at your best? No. So poor salary, poor benefits, poor working conditions. That's also a very important part of it, because if you don't have equipment, you don't have facilities, people come, you try your best, they still die. So you feel frustrated. So that's why we have this brain drain. Now, talking about what can government do about it, which I think is your primary interest, is that this has been a state of dysfunction for a long time. This is not a recent development at all. And the data actually supported, the indices supported, when you're talking about infant mortality or maternal mortality. They're really horrible. You're still talking about trying to get rid of polio. So we're behind. But the good news is that, especially in this government, you have listening ears. You have people that are willing to address the situation. Yes. And the reason is that I'm in the Health Committee, Health Services Committee. There are 5 doctors in the Health Services Committee.
What are you doing exactly in that committee?
Yeah. That's where we're going. I'll give you an example. When you talk about the working condition, you heard that the resident doctors were about to strike. So, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, the Speaker, went into action and created an emergency situation to get the Health Services Committee to address the situation. That's why you didn't have the strike. So that's someone that's listening. And during these committee hearings, we got a lot of information about what is actually going on. And the doctors told us about their experience in terms of the benefits not coming on time, in terms of their salary. And then they also spoke about their working conditions. It wasn't really pleasant to look at. But when the 2 ministers were there, the minister and the Minister of State, and they addressed the situation. They kept on meeting with them and addressing the situation to make sure that there won't be any strike. So what I gather from this government, this particular government, is that look at the minister, both ministers are doctors too. So I think there's a shift where you're having folks that are in the system now. They understand what the situation
portends. Let me jump in for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. So it seems you're the middleman in this situation and the best at it, because you're a doctor and now you're in the committee, the Health Service Committee. So I'd like you to explain what the issues are with government that, it makes it almost impossible to meet up this benefit, because the comparison with the US and Nigeria remuneration that you made, even me as I'm sitting here, it's a shift chair. So you understand. So I'd like you to explain what are the challenges that government has that makes it so difficult to pay this to doctors or to prioritize doctors and teachers as against politicians.
And I think you really hit it on the head. the way to look at the future is budgeting. And what is the priority in the budget? Even some people say, oh, it should be 5%. Hell no. You don't have a specific percentage for what it should be for health. In some environments, it's 15%. Yes. In South Africa, it's 8%. So when we're even talking about, no, there's no golden rule that it has to be 5%. But we're not even at the 5% yet. So scarce resources, budgeting, prioritization, you guys can help, like what you're doing now. Put it in the forefront so that the
But sometimes, I'll come to your budget. Sometimes it's not about budgeting. Okay. You see, it's about a vision. Right. Certain countries have said they want to become the medical tourist centers. Right. India, Dubai is working towards that. Yeah. People are flying all the way to because it was the vision of the government to make that, to create that opportunity for doctors to come back home to India. Yeah. So the point is that, is there a vision? Yeah. Is there a direction? Who is dreaming up this idea of Nigeria becoming that hub where people fly in to come and use our medical services? So it's not about just making the budget. What's the plan? Okay,
this is what's going on. Since you said I have a both side view, I listened to the ministers when they came to present the budget. And they have ideas of how to combat this particular situation. Well, increasing the facilities, making the situation more conducive for the doctors to work. And it's actually in this budget, you know, and I saw that during the budget. So, well, it's the beginning, it's baby steps, but I know that a lot of times we're impatient about how we feel. But I would like to assure you that you have folks there now that are listening to this situation and they're trying to make adjustments.
So, sir, how in touch are the lawmakers with what is happening in the health sector? Because I know that most of them do not even use the hospitals for themselves and their families. They have the wherewithal to travel outside the country to access medical care. How in touch? Because when you're making laws for the people you're governing, you need to know where it pinches them. We go to the hospitals and we can't have, you know, there are no equipments. You have to pay for everything that the government has said they're paying for. You buy your gloves, you buy your wool, you buy everything that you need. And then we have people who are offering those services who are not even pleasant to us. Me, I can never go to the public hospital. I'm sorry to disappoint anybody. They don't treat people well there. So how in touch are these lawmakers who are putting this budget and making all these laws with what is happening on ground?
Right. One of the reasons that why this has to change so that we can have better care is what you just said, that you rather not go to the public hospital. My prayer for you is that you are not in an emergency situation where that will be the next hospital they will take you to.
I don't have a choice then.
Okay, so that's why we have to work together to solve the problem.
Okay.
So the way it works is that, yes, the parliamentarians are in tune with what is going on. You know how? Because the constituents come to the legislatures all the time for help, as regards their health, as they're going to the hospital. So that's how you know about what is going on. Two, if you listen to government, I think I saw Mr. Governor on one of your programs, and you could see that he has a perfect grasp of what is going on. So sometimes these things will take a little more time. And I know...
the hospitals.
Yes, one of the problems that the people of Nigeria have is that the lawmakers, the government, the big people, they don't use these hospitals.
They don't use
us that have to use this hospital because we can't afford medical tourism. Because you know medical tourism is you people that are the tourists.
Yes, sir.
We are not. They're not born me to be a medical tourist because I can't afford it. That's the truth.
Right.
So that is the real problem. And our own is that until you people start using these hospitals, the facilities here, those hospitals are not going to...
So, go ahead. Let me let you respond to that.
You know that that's part of the orientation, things that all of us have to change, like the one I just said now.
No, you people first now.
Right, yeah. So if you're a big, like you said, if you're a big guy, big shot now, and you have an accident on Western Avenue, or you have a heart attack. If you have a heart attack, you don't need more than 5 to 6 hours to survive. So you better make sure that the hospitals around can take care of you in an emergency.
Is it my
even
job,
if you're a billionaire, because I'm talking generally now.
I'm agreeing with you that you know, we need to take. In fact, we have been advocating take care of the hospitals, but every time when we talk about this, when it comes to budgeting, we still get less than 5% or thereabouts. And each state government will tell you, no, it's because you know governance is not easy. We have to share this money everywhere. One of the solutions that the BRF government proposed to insecurity then in Lagos was to create a security trust fund. Yeah. Are you people even looking at creating a health trust fund and having corporate entities within the state, for instance, or within the country, for instance, putting aside the certain amount? When it was time for the Obasanjo government then to address education, they made all the oil-producing companies or oil companies put amount aside for ETF and all that. Are you looking at something like that would sort of take care of doctors, their remunerations, their motivation, entitlements and all that benefits to increase the motivation to work here? Are we looking at such a thing?
The answer is yes. Talking to my colleagues, I know there are motions and bills to address this from the Health Services Committee because we were really appalled about what we saw. So I see your point. Also, there's a Basic Health Care Act which guarantees a percentage of fund to primary health care now. Because the real solution to universal health is going to be that primary care. Okay. So that folks, maybe, that you're talking about are able to go to the primary care center before you even go to lawsuit or loot.
So let me tell you one of our frustrations. Right. And thank God you've lived abroad. You said 20 years you've practiced outside the country. And you hear when leaders speak to you, you feel that there's a plan. Connect. You feel that there's something happening. There's not just a committee of, what's that in YK says, a committee to agree that there's nothing can be done, that something, just everybody just now together having committee meetings. I want to hear from you, sir, that you've spoken to the minister, honorable minister. You've spoken to all the various stakeholders. And this is the blueprint. We want to bring in X from the diaspora. We want to train X amount. We have X hospitals. We plan to bring in this. We want to do, there's a direction such that everybody will buy into it immediately. Somebody, a member of the National Assembly is here and he's saying this. We now begin to be optimistic and have some kind of a hope in the health sector. But from what you're saying, sir, it's just that they've agreed, they're discussing, we'll do it, we're looking into it. It's still very broad. We are not yet convinced.
It's a group of people who come together to agree that they don't know what to do. Or something.
They cannot be done. They cannot be done.
That's rather harsh.
Sell to Nigerians today. You have this platform. Tell us that your government indeed has a plan for us in the health sector.
Yes, the government at the federal level and the Lagos state level have plans for us, and have been on the table. And I like what you said, that I've been on all sides. So, basically, one of the reasons I went into this is to make a change.
Exactly.
Because it's a very unique situation. So to be able to address the things that you're talking about. You see, I mentioned the salary now, because I've been on the other side where I was earning that. And I've been on this side where I earned that. So, and it's really sad to see this sometimes, but like I was saying, if you were in the budget committee, unfortunately, this forum is not sufficient to address all the issues, but I will give you some examples. If you heard about the story of the torture centers, where people are pinned down and all that. I have a motion to address that when we resume, and that is already on the schedule, so that you don't have that kind of situation. Down and all that. I have a motion to address that when we resume, and that is already on the schedule, so that you don't have that kind of situation. So that comes from that experience. Right. So I'm not talking to Senator Mamora during the defense of the budget. He addressed the issues that you're talking about. And they have all this in the blueprint, and they have some of it in the budget. I won't say they have all of it in the budget.
Some of it.
So I think let's look towards this 2020, and it should be better.
On the motion, sir, that you want to address the torture houses, what exactly are you proposing to be a solution? Yeah,
that's really, really sad. We just hope that you don't have mental illness. 1 in 6 people will have mental illness, whether we like it or not.
Everybody in Lagos.
And the weird thing, I don't know, maybe you should...
You're only 5 at this table. You say 1 in 6 people, we're only 5.
So that
the 6th person
hopefully,
that is mentally not here.
Hopefully, one of these days, that will be a good show for you, because what happens is that if you have depression or something like that, somebody just calls your neighbor or a relative that, she won't. You got to take her somewhere. And they just gang up. Illegal arrest, they get police, pay some law enforcement, they arrest you, they take you into either these religious or traditional home, and people pin you down. And they start to force feed, force giving you medication. And it's all over the country like that. And the part of the reason is that...
It's not for lack of alternatives.
Let me go on a quick break, and I'll come back and start with the vegetable. Okay. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Yeah.
So, sir, I like to be practical.
Sure, yeah.
When it comes to solutions. And from everything I hear every day when it comes to healthcare in the system, I don't see any solution. Okay. Because let's look a bit at statistics. Right. This year we had about 4.5 in our annual budget for 2020
yes.
to the health sector. And an economist did a calculation, and that showed me that for about 200 million Nigerians, the budget is just like less than 1 naira, 1,500 naira for each person.
That's so.
So with that amount of money, is it not showing us that it's just paracetamol that one person may be able to access in the whole of 2020? Now, I also know that...
No, paracetamol and Benylin.
Something like that. Okay. We have our security votes that the governors and residents... Wait. They take that money, they don't account for that money. They don't know what they do with that money. Some states get as much as 500 million monthly. If we're in a state where they are ready to work, and they know that
Operation Amotekun is part of the security votes. Let's leave them matter. Leave security votes matter.
Calm down. If we are in a place where they know that, okay, the national budget cannot carry the healthcare of the people, but I have my people in mind, can't they say, okay, state by state, I'm going to do something with some of my security votes to ensure that my people have the basic healthcare? That's a practical solution.
That's the governor's prerogative.
He's a lawmaker. He can suggest that to them.
By the way, I really appreciate your passion.
It's a committee. It's a lawmaker, but it's inside committee.
Okay. I appreciate your concerns and your view, like you say, your view. And this is really good. We need this to keep us on our toes and the government on their toes. Okay. When you stop that, then everybody's going to go down. So it's good that you have that. What I will say, though, is that from my experience in Abuja, I can tell you sincerely that this government, under the leadership of President Buhari, has a listening here and very commitment to
Okay, we need more than a listening here, sir. But let me take this call from Nduka Oweri. Good morning from Oweri. Mr. Nduka, thanks for calling.
Morning.
Go ahead.
Great ladies of Nigeria.
Great.
Great.
Great ladies of Nigeria.
Great.
I beg, let me just talk to the doctor direct.
Please, carry go.
Can he help us and give us the information? Is it still legal that doctors are free to run their clinics and still work up the public hospitals? Because what they use these public hospitals to do is to direct patients to their clinic. In fact, they don't come to work for government. They come to have access to patients that they will direct to their private clinics. So when he was working abroad, did he have his own personal clinic and still work for government?
Thank you very much for that question. Go ahead, sir.
I think even in Nigeria, that is not something that is done. But you have these isolated situations you're talking about. Talking to some of the doctors, I don't think every doctor does what he's talking about, but I get your concern. There are complaints about that. But more importantly, a lot of states have a lot of great ideas for 2020. I know Lagos State, for example, listening to the governor, that he has intention of fixing the hospitals, in creating better equipment situation.
Are you running for governor? Are you running for Lagos? Lagos
she's talking about total health care of the country.
No, he's talking about the role of the doctor. Are you allowed to have a private practice? That's a direct question to you. Is he allowed?
It's not allowed. But I'm saying that this is isolated situation.
Okay.
So I don't want it to come across that every doctor does that.
They actually work for the private practices. My ex-husband, when he got to General Hospital, the doctor had been in one highbrow hospital, and the wife couldn't afford 500,000 a day, so she carried him to General Hospital. And when he got there, was the doctor that was treating him there said, what is he doing here?
Carrying him back.
He died there a few days later, needless to say.
Yeah.
So he's asking, is it legal
for a doctor
to work in a general hospital
and have private practice?
Go and be running him, and then be directing. Some of them direct the patients to India.
Well, that is a challenge, but I would like you to know that when a society has some dysfunction, it's not just the medical profession. This is going to cut across in policing, in customs and all that, because we're all Nigerians. But I think we need to appreciate the doctors that are here, that have stayed behind to take care of Nigerians. So,
okay, we have to run up very quickly. But I'd like to ask you a question, and this is between us here, nobody.
They won't hear.
They won't hear. Since you're an outsider, I'd like to see you as an outsider. You're coming in from outside the country and coming into the political system. Do you really feel that those of you that have assembled yourself at the National Assembly are actually not just qualified, do they even have the heart of the best interest of the Nigerians at heart? Because many people feel you've just put yourself there to collect your monthly salaries, your monthly allowances, travel abroad, and have all these benefits, and you really are not, actually discussing, they're not part of us. You're not discussing the real issues that we have. And even when you discuss it, nothing really happens. So since you are supposed to be an outsider, I mean, you're coming from outside, coming in, I'd like you to give us that bird's eye view. What exactly goes on in there? Could you tell Nigerians?
Oh, sure. I think the Ninth Assembly is exceptional. It's not the kind of assembly you've seen in a long time.
Okay.
By the way,
what makes it different?
Yeah, because we have a great speaker in the presence of Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. And for your information, he was also out there, so he has international experience. Okay. And since we've been there, I don't know if you guys watch the NTA programs on a daily basis. They tend to, yeah, they show that, so you can see what is going on in the assembly.
Really, what time? I want to be watching it.
You watch it, I'll let you know. I watch sometimes.
So apart from that now, if you look at the list of the motions and bills that are being discussed, you will know that there's passion. Every day there's something called motion of urgent public importance. You can actually, like the issue you raised, you can bring it up. So
they can bring up issues of therefore and not bringing up issues.
Let me find, maybe it's in our area.
Why it's not your area? Please let Nima talk. Why let Nima talk, because she's going through that Oshodi.
Honorable representing Amodofin, I'm calling him out. You have emergency clinical to order on the house every day. And the urgency that we have in that satellite, people are screaming and shouting and they are sharing keke. It's only the keke that carries his name that we used to know.
I don't understand you. You've been to my area. You say my own is not important.
It's a good state.
He's a honorable.
You're not in Lagos State.
Is it not honorable? Okay. I don't know now.
I represent Oshodi.
Okay, but you must know our own.
Do you raise the emergency of the construction and that traffic emergency?
Okay, let me tell you how it works. The way it works is that, it's 360 folks there. So
must you be 360 folks?
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's not a matter of what you want already.
Tell her how it works.
I want to send letter to honorable.
No, I know it's all very well. It's the traffic we will sit in for 2 hours. So please help me to explain.
Well, not only that, I think it's about 3 or 4 motions that have been on that. From that road to Apapa, the traffic congestion. I know the honorable representing Apapa, the honorable Egberongbe raised that issue, that it took forever to get a report. So that's why I'm saying maybe there needs to be more public education, more enlightenment. We're going to need you guys to that.
Like that,
not just on the other side. Yeah?
You not tell us what happens after.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's actually an important question. You raise the motion, it's referred to the committee. And the committee...
The same committee again. Yes. The white case again.
It's not dictatorship.
No, I need to just...
Okay, please define committee for us.
Let me define committee for you. I don't want to make a mistake. A committee is a group of individuals who singularly can do nothing, but come together to agree that nothing can be done.
That's right.
That's why...
So when you say committee in Nigeria, that's the definition we understand.
Hold on. What's the committee? You know I'm a parliamentarian myself. So after the committee meets and decides that there's a problem in that area, for instance, Tank Farm and the Solo, where they come and shout that there's a problem, people's lives are at risk, and they put it back to the speaker of the house, and I also agree.
5 seconds.
What follows? What happens?
It goes to the Ministry of Relevance.
What can you do?
The minister that has
it's an order now.
When the solution is reached, what's the force?
It's an order of the parliament, and they have to do that. Yes.
Who is the honorable of Ifo?
Why we have to run. Okay,
let me hear so I can send it.
So what I'm hearing is that once that is done, it goes back to the minister. So it's the minister we must hold. not necessarily the men of the House of Assembly.
I want to know if there's force behind that.
There's no force.
When the House raises an order,
which
if the minister fails, can they call on the minister? Can they say executive withdraw?
You know, come and speak English to them.
This person find somebody that knows what he's doing.
We have to run
fire service.
Unfortunately, we have to run. Thank you very much, sir. Unfortunately, that is all we can take. You can watch Your View on DSTV channel 45. Really, have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.